So it doesn't feel hyperbolic to say that this book that I'm reading at the moment has changed my life and changed my relationship with money. It's this book here by Robert Waldinger and Mark Schultz. So you might sort of be asking, why have I picked up this book? To cut to the chase, two guys who I went to school with died in the space of a week. I'm 32 years old, and I didn't think I was at the age where, that sort of thing happened, being young and invincible and all that sort of thing. May they both rest in peace. They were the sort of people who I wasn't super close with. We were kind of Facebook friends, hadn't spoken for a long time, the sorts of people. And so one of the things this really prompted me to do was to do lots of reading about kind of the science of happiness and, what leads to a good life. And I came across this book and I've delved into it. So the first question is, why is this such an important book? Now, this study, as it says on the front, lessons from the world's longest study on happiness. So they had a study where they followed 700 men for nearly 80 years. And this is kind of really unique for this particular academic study. A lot of the studies that are done on happiness will focus on specific individuals as at a point in time. The subjects are asked things about what makes them happy, how they would rate their happiness, that kind of thing. Whereas because this study follows the same individuals over a long period of time, it's really been able to draw some much more solid and much more concrete conclusions about what actually leads to happiness, the things that lead to a good life. So in this video we'll go through my personal top 3 takeaways from the book. Now, the researchers didn't just ask them specific questions about what they felt like, that sort of thing. They went into a great level of detail. They were taking blood work, they were taking brain scans, they were doing interviews, psychological exams, medical exams, the works. I think it's also worth mentioning at this point that these were 2 studies that were originally combined together, and so what it meant is that they had in this study millionaires. Supposedly JFK was included in the study, but he dropped out when he became president. They had actors and Nobel Prize winners and plumbers, bricklayers, that sort of thing. So it really spans across every conceived of society. But the first thing I want to get into is regrets. Now, when most of the original cohort got to about 80 years old, the researchers asked them about what were the things that they regretted most in life. And almost unanimously, it was things like spending too much time at the office, spending too much time away from family, indulging with people who had led them down the wrong sort of path. And conversely, when they were asked about the things that they were proudest of, none of them talked about big houses, fast cars, anything like that. Almost unanimously, they talked about their relationships. They were a good boss, they were a good spouse, they were a good parent, they were a good husband, whatever the case may be. And so I think this is the first really important takeaway for me, that they valued their relationships with other people, with the people closest to them, over and above just about everything else. They were proudest of their connections with other people in their lives. So the first takeaway is spending time with the people who are important to you. That is the number one, the biggest predictor when it comes to your overall physical and mental well-being. The things that will make you happy are the people in your life, who you choose to spend your time with, and how you choose to spend your time with them. The second thing I think is managing yourself. So the book spends a good deal of time talking about things like finding your purpose, talking about building resilience, which we have a video coming out next week. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Getting used to being optimistic. These kind of key aspects, that you've got your relationships, which are sort of the bedrock. They will ultimately, for the most part, determine how happy you are, how satisfied you are with your life. But then life still happens, you need your resilience, you need your optimism, and so how you handle those situations as they come at you over the course of your lifetime is, I think, another really important takeaway that I got from this book. And so ways you can build on this sort of thing is making time for the people in your lives, reconnecting with people maybe from school, maybe from university who you've not seen for a long time, going out and making a concerted effort to meet new people, finding people who have similar interests to you, whether it's at social clubs, or whether it's online. In this community, for example, like and subscribe so you're always kept up to date and so you can meet other like-minded folks in this community. It's a very small community. The third thing is not that surprising, but I think really sort of hammers it home. It's one thing that kind of healthy folks will talk about a lot, and that is taking care of your body. Now, the study talks about the difference between healthy years and lived years, and they really emphasise the importance of taking care of your body. All the usual stuff, exercise, sleep, eating right, all that good stuff. But they talked about how this has a really profound effect, not only on how you interact with the world whilst you're younger and whilst you're more healthy, but then also as you get older. There's no point getting to your 60s and your 70s and your 80s and onwards and your body being absolutely decrepit. This is one of the really big takeaways of the book for me, is really focusing on your physical well-being in order to facilitate your mental well-being. Now you may well be thinking, perfectly legitimately I might add, hang on, what's all this book got to do about your relationship with money and so on? And the answer's pretty obvious, I think, and pretty simple, and that's, what's the point in me saving all this money, being diligent with all this money, if tomorrow I get hit by a bus? And so one of the things it's really encouraged me to do is to move, dare I say it, less away from being kind of more conscientious with my money, more deliberate with my money, and occasionally just thinking, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go out to dinner with my friends, or I'm going to take this opportunity to take my family away on holiday. You can't take the money with you. It's really made me want to reevaluate, not just about saving for the future, saving for the longer term, whilst those things are still absolutely critical, no questions asked. It's made me want to loosen up a little bit. We're all only here for a limited time, so take advantage of the time you're here. And if that means occasionally having a bit of an extravagance, provided it's with the people who are around you, I think that's a worthwhile use of your money. So thanks very much for watching. The book is called The Good Life and How to Live It, Lessons from the World's Longest Study on Happiness. I would really recommend it. Again, slightly different video than we would otherwise see on this channel. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Modern Money Talk, where we talk all things personal finance, personal development related. Comment down below, have you read the book? If you did, what did you like? What did you dislike? What were some of the key takeaways for you? Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Peace out.